Yeah, Mr. Absolute Zoom, he says, he actually in his essence, he says, Beninda forged his signature. Or he got somebody to forge his signature. So he must answer to that. I don't know what he's going to say. Maybe he'll say, yeah, yes. I told Mamphuru to forge his signature. I don't know what he's going to say. But he must be given a chance because he's a senior policeman who has defeated the ends of justice by forging a signature, according to Mr. Absalom. You heard him. He even said, even me, I'm corrupt. He said that. Corrupt.
See you on Monday.
Are we now adjourning and meeting next year?
What did I say on Friday? I said Judge Ratta sounds disoriented. There was something about him. There was something off. I knew something was beating the water. By the way, these are my own thoughts and processes. I have no proof or evidence, but I'm following the little information that we have. Exhibit A, Judge Ratta's behavior inside Parati within the court was not make sure. He was determined no matter how many times he was told. Everybody, that is the accused, the defense, even George Baloy. Oh, goodness me. Georgie said, no, we are all ready to work on Monday for a week during recess to continue with this trial. Because, hello, the SENZO MEYIWA trial has been ongoing forever, but the judge says, no, let's do this next year. The judge kept saying, no, next year. He continuously said, no, next year. And it made absolute no sense to me. So in the back of my mind, I said, maybe he just doesn't want to be inside Parati within the court when it becomes the 1-year anniversary of the passing of Advocate Tulani Joshua Ngomezulu. Let's just take a moment of silence to stand in solidarity with the family as they mark 1 year without their beloved. Those were just my thoughts, okay? My conspiracy theories brewing in my head. Remember, this was before Witness D was taken out by 2 shots. We'll talk about that later. But let's focus here. Nani Podcast has just released some information that I cannot ignore. Accused number 1, Moses Sevilla, transferred to Kgosi Mamphuru. Accused number 2, Bongani Ntanzi, always has been at Kgosi Mamphuru and the non-sentenced. The non-sentenced section. Accused number 3, who was granted that he could move graciously to Luka. No, he wanted to go to Joburg prison. He was granted his request. But Mr. Koza said, no, not on my watch. No, not gonna happen. Accused number 4 has always been over there by the Santon, bothering nobody. He had a beard. He also had his full head of hair. He seemed to, be doing pretty well for himself. As I always call him, the guest of the court. He's never involved in anything much until he did that Section 174 application. Ooh, pulled open people's eyes. Or should I say, drew attention to him. Hold the line. I'll tell you about accused number 4. Accused number 5. Let's jump to accused number 5. Accused number 5, as you know, came to court one day and said, I'm done. I am so done with Kgosi Mamphuru. Take me out of there. Judge made a ruling. Move the man. Do you think they moved him? Of course not. Shalolo has been very busy with the crime intelligence boss and gang. Okay, so her focuses have been a little bit spread wide. But I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. Let's go back to accused number 4, according to Unoni Matigela podcast. You see, somehow, for some strange reason, accused number 4 showed up. Some of us thought it was a brand new accused person in the courtroom, myself included, only to realize, wait, but that's accused number 4. Man, he looks so different. I couldn't place it at the time. I thought, okay, Why would cutting his hair make him look so different? It took me 3 days. 3 days to realize. It also cut off his beard. I said, why all of a sudden such a change in appearance? Didn't think much of it. But my spidey sense said, was he forced to cut off his hair? Why such an abrupt moment? And then, as you know, inside Pagati within the court, there were threats to my lord. A sitting judge. It has never happened before. He's going to be the second if the plot continues. But let's go back to accused number 4, shall we? Accused number 4 has been removed from Santon, allegedly, and placed inside Pagati within solitary confinement at Kgosi Mamphuru prison because he was found allegedly in possession of a cell phone. Now let's talk about the possession of the cell phone. The floor in the cell that he is kept in is the one that was in possession of the cell phone, because the cell phones were just on the floor. There were other accused, but he's the one who was taken. Not everybody was taken, only him. Something is giving Nganekwane here, okay? This was all the past weekend, not this weekend here, the previous weekend, okay? Stay with me, okay? And then on Monday, Jiggy. Ooh! Gwabini tells the court, my friends are being taken out. Why are my friends being taken out? Whoa. Baloy, hold the line with your questions. I'm answering you. Besides, I came to your office 3 times. At this point, I have zero respect for you. But anyway, where my friends going, my lord? Where my friends at? Where are the 121 ducats? My lord says, I don't know what you're talking about. Nisi goes to find out the friends are being accused of a plot to assassin key top officials, Geninda, Mahola, Baloy, and of course, my lord. But that was also said about Patricia Mashala. Do you guys remember that? But anyway, we're not there. Let's just focus here. Let me recap again so that we are all on the same page. Mzansi Unfiltered has been moved to Kgosi Mamphuru after he gave a phenomenal witness testimony in the box. Took Baloy 3 weeks plus, dragged him, denied everything. Baloy struggled. The struggle bus was struggling. You know when you're trying to start the car, you're going, Baloy was struggling to capture Mzansi Unfiltered until he had to close his testimony, and then came Absalom Zungu. What a moment. And then Absalom Zungu, of course, called the court corrupt. He revealed to us that he's afraid. He revealed to us the abduction. He told us a lot, okay? But nobody could have predicted Gwabini. I don't like to say things because, I don't want things to come into existence. But Gwabini, now that's one man who needs to sleep with one eye open. Just look at that. Just look at it. All 5 accused are now at Kgosi Mamphuru. The very Kgosi Mamphuru they keep trying to get out of. Accused number 5 told us what they do to him with the electricity over there. And then my lord insists that court close down until the 19th of January 2025. That's a long time, guys. We haven't even reached the 19th of December. So it's a month plus where Kgosi Mamphuru officials allegedly, according to the accounts of accused number 5, Fisugule Ntuli, will have full access to do as they please, when they please, how they please. As for accused number 4, he's going to suffer drastic weight loss because there's a huge diet difference between where he was over there at Lukop and Kgosi Mamphuru. And he's in solitary confinement, according to Unoni. And guess what? I'm not Nani. To all the people that always say, hi, Nani, hi, Nani, hi. I'm not Nani. I don't know how I can ever say that out loud. I'm Mzansi Unfiltered, the one and only. Okay? But we're not there. We are here. At the Mkologo. What is going on? Okay? These are all just my random thoughts out loud. I definitely want to hear what your opinion is. You know what? Let's go down a refresher course and see how Muzisibia dragged Baloyi, made Baloyi have a hard time cross-examining him. Let's listen in. I'll be back with the rest of my commentary.
Mr. Sibia, yesterday we referred you to the proposition by Mr. Mngomezulu to Sup Matlou, the e-Natis expert attached to the Road Traffic Management Corporation, RTMC, to the effect, and we quote, that you did travel to Gauteng on the days you had to write the learner's test, but went back to KwaZulu-Natal to
Izolo sivezeke inkulumo leyo ke eyathulwa ngubaba uMngomezulu eqondise kuyena ke usuperintendent eMatlo lo osebenza ke lapho kwenziwa khona ke ama license. Uyachaza ukuthi ke uye weza la wazobhuka mawuqeda lapho waphinde ke ubuyele ekhaya emahlabathini.
Yeah, mangiqede ngikwenza ke ngibuyele ekhaya.
After completing what I came here to do, I would go back home, yes.
And we put it to you that this is a watered down version of the original version that was put by Mr. Ramusepeli when he cross-examined Constable Zungu, namely that since March 2013, you never returned to Johannesburg or Gauteng until 2015.
Manje ke
My Lord, if Advocate Baloyi feels that's a watered down version between what I put and what the late Mr. Mngomezulu put, he can argue it, but he cannot expect this witness to say, yes, this one is watered down. That's unfair to the witness, my Lord.
We'll rephrase, my Lord. We put it to you that the original version that was put to Constable Zungu during cross-examination by Mr. Ramusepeli was that since March 2013, you have never returned to Johannesburg or Gauteng until 2015.
ubudaba olwavezwa ke umnumzana Ramusepeli ekuqaleni lapho ke waye evivinya khona ke noma ke evivinya ubufakazi bakhe ke uConstable Zungu wathi ke wena kusukela unyaka ka2013 kufika kunyaka ka2015 awuzange uphinde ubuye eGoli.
Angazi mshushisi mayikhuluma ngeoriginal, ukhuluma ngani mayithi original version ukuthi usuke ekhuluma ngani. Ngoba ngishilo wathi mina lokho kusho ubaba Ramusepeli uqinisile ukuthi mina ngo2013 ngeke ngahamba ngayohlala ekhaya. Ngahlala ekhaya ngaze ngabuya ukuzohlala eGoli ngo2015.
I am not sure as to what is the prosecution intending to say when they saying that I never the original version it's not the same as the other one. But what I'm saying is I do confirm what Mr. Ramusepeli had said, that I left Gauteng in 2013, went to reside in KZN, and returned only in 2015.
Ngize ngabeka isibonelo sokuthi njengamanje mina la ngihlala khona ngihlala eModambi kodwa every day ngihlala ngila ePitori ngizo-attenda icala kodwa ngihlala eModambi la ngihlala khona.
And I made an example as well to say that I reside at Modabi. However, I spent most of my time here in Pretoria to attend to this matter.
Angaze ngize ngibuye uzohlala lapha eGoli. EGoli bengiza ngizokwenza lokho engikwenzayo ngibuye ngibuyele ngihlala ekhaya la ngihlala khona.
I never came back to Gauteng to come back and reside here. I only come here and do what I have to do and return back home.
And yesterday we put it to that this version that was put by Mr. Ramusepeli to Constable Zungu, that since March 2013, you have never returned to Johannesburg or Gauteng until 2015, was refuted by the testimony of Superintendent Matlou, showing that you had learners' license appointments in Brakpan Driver's License Testing Center, Gauteng, on these dates, the 17th of July 2014, 22 July 2014, and that on the same date, 22 July 2014, you went to make DLTC. Then on the 15th of September 2014, you came to Boksburg to write down the learner's test.
My Lord, also, that's very incorrect to say the RTMC officer Matlo that came here entirely refuted the allegation. He only mentions certain dates when the accused came here to write learner's licenses and to rebook when he failed. He did not say from 2013 until 2015, I can place this witness in Gauteng via RTMC records. As the court places, ma'am.
Yeah, well, we don't really understand the nature of the objection, my lord, but maybe just to put it differently, Sup Matlo dealt with this proposition that since March 2013, you never returned to Johannesburg or Gauteng until 2015. He dealt with that proposition by pointing out that you were in Gauteng on these days that I've mentioned, 17 July 2014, 22 July 2014, and 15 September 2014.
Nayizolo ngeke ngaphendula lo mbuzo lo mhlawumbe kayi3 noma kayi4. Namhlanje ngiyaphendula lo mbuzo futhi.
I think yesterday I've answered this question 3 times or 4 times, and today I'm still going to answer to it.
Kgosi Katolo, mina 2013 ngisukile ngayohlala ekhaya. Ukuhlala ekhaya ukuthi ngihlala ekhaya. Kodwa bengiza la eGoli ngizokwenza lokho engikwenzayo. Ngibuyele ngiyohlala ekhaya la bengihlala khona. 2015 ngasuka ekhaya ngazohlala eGoli.
My lord, I'm repeating that in 2013, I left Gauteng to go back home, to reside there. And I would come to Gauteng as and when I should, do what I have to do, and return back home. But in 2015, I then came back to Gauteng to come and reside here in Gauteng.
Ngize ngathi 2007 ngisuke ekhaya ngazohlala eGoli. Kodwa bengiya ekhaya ngiyovakasha kodwa bengihlala eGoli. Ngasuka 2013 ngabuyela ngayohlala ekhaya. Ngiza eGoli ngizokwenza lokho engikwenzayo kodwa ngihlala ekhaya. Ngasuka 2015 ngazohlala eGoli. Ngiya ekhaya ngiyokwenza lokho engikwenzayo kodwa ngibele ngihlala eGoli.
I did even make mention of the fact that in the year 2007, I left my home to come and reside here in Gauteng. But as and when I was residing here in Gauteng, I would go home and come back to Gauteng. Then in 2013, I then left Gauteng again to go and reside at home. And I would also visit Gauteng and do what I have to do and return back home. And furthermore, in 2015, I then returned back to Gauteng, wherein to reside full-time this side. And I would also visit home.
Ngicabanga ukuthi umshushisi naye mangambuza ukuthi useshushise iminyaka emingaki ngakutshela mhlawumbe ukuthi seshushise iminyaka ewu15 mhlawumbe kodwa kuke ngakuthi yonke lezi insuku lezi uhlala eshushisa zonke lezi insuku lezi ubala umnyaka ukuthi onyaka osobe ngenza ukuthi onyaka osobe ngenza ukuthi hayi insuku ukuthi ngensuku esobe ngisendaweni eso.
Even the prosecution, if you were to ask the prosecutor now as to how many years of has he been prosecuting, he would tell you it calculates years, not on days, and say on these days I did this, on that day I did that. He will count the years.
Yes. You see, Mr. Sibia, this proposition goes to the heart of your defense in this matter.
Manje ke le ncazelo le iya lapho ke uthi uziphendulela ukuthini ke wena kuleli cala.
Angiphenduleli icala. Mina ngisho ukuthi mina ngesikhathi esisobe ngikuphi. Ngesikhathi esisobe bengiphi ngoba ngisho ukuthi 2013 ngiye ngahamba ngayohlala ekhaya.
No, I'm not.
2015 ngabuya ngazohlala lapha eGoli.
I'm not responding to the matter. I'm not answering to the matter. What I'm saying is that in 2013, I left Gauteng to go and reside at home and then came back in 2015.
Ngaleli cala akukho engikwaziyo ngalo.
I do not know anything about this matter.
Yesterday, you mentioned that you also came to Gauteng on certain days to submit your CVs to apply for jobs. Is that correct?
Ukhazile ke izolo ukuthi ubuza la eGoli uzofaka ke ama CV enkampanini ukuthi ufuna umsebenzi kunjalo.
Yebo kunjalo.
Yes, that is correct.
And you also mentioned that you cannot recall the dates on which you came to submit your CVs in Gauteng.
Waphinde waqhubekela phambili nenkulumo yakho ukuthi awusakhumbuli lezo insuku ukuthi kwakuluphi usuku mhlawumbe idate.
Yebo angikhumbuli.
Yes, I do not remember.
You see, Mr. Sibia, this is not the version that was put to Sup Matlo,
Lento
that
le
you
wena-
also came to Gauteng on other dates, other than the ones that Sup Matlo referred to, in order to submit CVs in Gauteng.
This witness, having been confronted with what Matlo said, that on certain days, there were dates that he came to make an appointment for his licenses and all stuff like that. He further added that, and that is now under cross-examination. Further added that, for instance, I also came on certain days where I submitted my CVs because I was looking for a job. Why should then that version, why must that version have been put to Superintendent Matlo? Because Matlo has only been here to testify about his own area of operation, which is RMTC. Why should that version then have been put to Sergeant Matlo?
Yeah, okay, fine. Yes, Mr. Baloyi.
Well, from counsel's own submission, it is considered that this version was not put to Matlo. That's all that was saying, that you agree that this version that you also came to Gauteng on other days was not put to Matlo. That's all that was saying, Lord. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there is everything wrong with it, because Matlo has not come here to testify about what happened on the 26th of October 2014 at the Commandos. Matlo has been requested to compile an RMTC report. He's working in the traffic department. According to his analysis, on certain dates, Mr. Sibiya has been here to do his license testing and to write his license testing. He has not been here to testify about what happened on the 26th of October 2014. So why should that version then have been put to Mr. Matlo? What would have been the relevance of that version being put to Mr. Matlo?
Yeah, fine. I can argue that.
Yeah, maybe we'll read.
Exactly, my lord. That is exactly what the state should also do. The state must argue that as well.
I don't know. The state is basically talking about dates.
Yes, my lord, the dates. But this witness,
And
under
the
cross-examination, he
state-
says,
fine,
for instance, on such as, maybe he will still have to come and say, for instance, on other dates, this is what I did, as this monotony is continuing.
Now you can argue that because according to the state, Mr. Ramusipili put a blanket version
Yes.
that in 2 years,
Yes,
Mr. Sibisi was never ever in Gauteng.
yes.
Unless you say he never said that. And then now he says, if I understand Mr. Baloyi, that Matlo's evidence, and Matlo doesn't have to say, he doesn't even have to know about the version of Mr. Sibisi. Matlo
Exactly, man.
basically says, during the period which the defense puts that he, Mr. Sibiya, was never ever in Gauteng.
Yes.
On 2 dates,
Yes.
it shows that he was in Gauteng. That's all.
Yes.
That's all it is about.
And this witness, in addition to Mr. Matlo,
Yeah, fine.
in amplification of his version, says, beyond what Mr. Matlo says about this RMTC thing, on certain days I also came here and submitted my curriculum vitae for job application. So, but now Mr. Baloyi says, but why was that then not put to Mr. Matlo? For Mr. Matlo to do what with it? Because
Okay.
Mr. Matlo is not a factual witness. He has only come here to specifically testify about that aspect of evidence that he was requested to come and testify on.
No, fine, you're right, Mr.
Thank you, man.
We'll just develop that further, Malot.
Yeah.
Do you agree that the fact that you came to Gauteng on other days to submit your CV was only mentioned yesterday?
Uyavuma yini ukuthi ke udaba lokuthi wena wawuzala eGoli uzoletha ke ama CV wakho udaba ke siqale ukulizwa izolo.
Mhlambe isikhathi esiqala ukukhuluma ngaso ngalo lolu daba lolu CV okwenza ukuthi umshusisi eqala ukuluzwa izolo yena. Hayi ukuthi bonke yena uqala ukuluzwa izolo.
Maybe the prosecutor is only hearing this for the first time yesterday because we have now started a conversation about it. Maybe he is the one that's hearing it for the first time.
But are you saying, Mr. Sibiya, that you did mention it previously?
Usho ukuthi wena ke walukhuluma lolu daba ngaphambilini?
Ngakhuluma nengangikhuluma nabo kodwa ngoba ngqala la iboxini umshusisi eqala ukuyifaka le ndaba yalokho yokuza kwami la eGoli ingakho ngithifakile ukuthi mina la eGoli bengiza akusizo lezi insuku ebengibalela zona izolo kuphela lezi bengiza ngazo la eGoli bengiza la eGoli ngizofaka ama CV ngoba ngaphela umsebenzi ngangisesemncane ukuthi sengahlala ekhaya waya.
I have spoken about this issue, or I have spoken about this issue with other people that I've spoken to about, and I mentioned it yesterday because the prosecutor started now saying about my comings to Gauteng and not going to KZN and not returning here. I did say that I would come to Gauteng and come and submit my CVs to other companies.
Yes, but do you agree that you, in your evidence in chief, you did not mention that, you only mentioned it yesterday?
We have
This witness says, my version is from 2013 up to 2015. I agree that on certain intervals, while staying at home, on certain intervals, I will come to Joburg and I'll come to Gauteng and do this and 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 this. If Mr. Baloyi has got other things that he thinks or that he knows of, that this witness came to Gauteng to do, let him put those things to this witness so that this witness confirm that indeed on that day I also came to do this and this and this and this and this. This witness has clarified what Mr. Ramusipulu put on record, being the fact that from 2013 to 2015 he has never been to Gauteng. But this witness comes and says, no, I went and stayed at home, but on certain intervals, because I was still young, as he's saying, I would come to Joburg to do this and this and this and this and this and this. If the state wants to pursue this thing, my lord, he has already admitted that not that I consistently stayed at home without me having to travel to Joburg. I did come to Joburg. If the state wants to argue that, then they're welcome to do that, my lord. But it becomes very unfair to put a barrage of questions that are revolving the same monotonous thing on this witness. Because in any event, my lord, this witness never raised an alibi as a defense. This defense is not an alibi. It doesn't say that on the 26th of October 2014, I was never in Gauteng. It does not say that. This witness says, I don't know what happened to SENZO MEYIWA. It is for the state to put him at SENZO MEYIWA's place on the 26th of October 2014. He never said, when he pleaded, that I'm raising alibi as my defense. He never said that.
Man, I can't believe that his own counsel doesn't know the defense of his own client, because that's precisely their defense, an alibi. He says, in the period that Mr. SENZO MEYIWA was killed, I was at home. That's his defense, my lord. And I'm surprised. Counsel says that's not his defense. But anyway, we leave it at that, my lord. In your evidence in chief, you did not mention that you were at home in KwaZulu-Natal, specifically on the 26th of October 2014. You agree?
Engikushilo ngithe mina uma ngizwa ngalesi sigameko ngezwa ngisekhaya.
What
Ngathi
I
ukuthi ngangise ekhaya ngithi ngisendlini yami noma ngikuphi. Ngangise emakhaya uma ngizwa kuthiwa kushone umuntu oso.
What I had said was that when I heard of the news that this person had died, I was at home. I was not referring to maybe I was at my place or what. I was at the homelands when I received the news or when I heard the news of the passing of this person in the homelands.
And let us be more specific. Advocate Ngumalo, in cross-examination, asked you where you were on the 26th of October 2014, and you replied, I don't remember where I was exactly, but I spent most of my time at home, even though if I would get a chance, I would come to Gauteng to do something and return home. When the news broke of SENZO MEYIWA's death, I was at home.
Namanje yona into engishoyo ukuthi mina ukuthi ngi-26 October 2014 angisakhumbule kodwa uma ngizwa ngi-27 ukuthi kudutshulwe kwashona uSenzo ngangisekhaya.
What I'm saying, I still confirm that I do not remember as to where was I on the 26th of October 2014. But when I heard of the news on the next day, which was the 27th of October 2014, I was home.
Kodwa ukuthi ngangikuphi nendlu noma ngangikuphi nendawo angazi ukuthi ngangisekhaya.
I cannot remember as to where I was or the location wherein I was or what place or in the house or not, but I was at the homelands.
Ngoba nami bengiwumuntu ongazi lutho ongizwa nje indaba ngizwa indaba ngisekhaya.
Because I was also a person who did not know anything and I just heard of the news.
So this is precisely the point, Mr. Sibia. So even if you can't say exactly where you were on the 26th of October 2014, but what you can say is that you were in KZN, is that correct?
Manje ke noma wena ungakwazi ukusho ke kahle usho ngqo ukuthi wawukuphi nendawo. Kodwa uyaqinisekisa ukuthi wena wawuse KZN mhla ka 26 October kunyaka ka 2014.
Ngangise Mahlabathini.
I was home in Mahlabathini.
Yes, that's precisely the point. So in other words, you are saying on the 26th of October 2014, I was not on the scene of crime at 13511 Kutlwanong Street, Vosloorus. I was at Mahlabathini. That is the essence of your defense. Is that not correct?
Udaba lwakho ke wena lungukuthi ke mhla ka 26 October kunyaka ka 2014 wawungekho ke endaweni lapho kwenzakale khona ke isehlakalo ikheli lakhona okuyi 13511 Kutlwanong Street endaweni yase Vosloorus. Okushoyo wena ukuthi ke wawusemakhaya eKZN.
Engisho ukuthi ngangisemakhaya le address leyo esho umshushisi angiyazi ngangingekho la eGoli nje ngangise KZN ekhaya.
Yes, I was at home, and also the address that the prosecution has just read out, I do not know it. I was at the homelands.
Yes. You see, Mr. Sibia, what is interesting is that when you testified in evidence in chief, you did not mention that on the 26th of October 2014, you were at Mahlabathini until Advocate Ngumalo asked you specifically, that question.
Okwenza ukuthi mina ngingakhulumi ngomhla ka 26 2014 angazi lutho ngawo.
The reason why I do not mention anything about the 26th of October 2014 is because I know nothing.
Ngoba ngisho ukuthi mina ngokufaka SENZO angazi lutho ngakho.
As I've said that I do not know nothing about the killing of SENZO.
into engiyaziyo ukuthi mina ngiboshwe kanjani yiyo into ebengichaza mina la ukuthi mina ngiboshwe kanje ngaboshwa kanje ngaboshwa kanje ngaboshwa kanje.
And what I came here to do is to explain as to how I got arrested, and then I narrated as to the sequence of my arrest.
Benge ngikhulume ngokuthi nge26 ayikho into engiyaziyo nge26 ukuthi mina kwenzakalani ngoba mina ngangisekhaya.
I could not have-
Lo mbuzo uvela kumali ukuthi nge26 wawukuphi ngiyamtshela ngangisekhaya ngoba ngezwa nge27 ngezwa kuthiwa kushone uSenzo.
I could not have mentioned the 26th of October 2014 because I know nothing about it. And Mr. Nxumalo is the one that asked me as to where was I on the 26th of October 2014. And I was home in Mahlabathini, and I heard of the news on the 27th of October 2014.
Engikwaziyo ukuboshwa kwami ukuthi ngiboshwe kanjani yikho lokho ebengichaza la ukuthi mina ngiboshwe kanje kwenzakala ukuthi kwenzakala ukuthi.
The only thing I know is the sequence of my arrest that I've been explaining, that this and this happened.